What's up? Testing. Does that sound good to everybody? I bet you it does. Because I already checked it. Alright, I just gotta figure out how to use my shit. What's up? What's up, Andy Panther? What's up, Dr. Fish? What's up, Braden Hall? Glad you guys could make it to the Shibby Pods Wave Race 64 rankings, and this is for the first quarter of 2020. So we actually ended up having a lot of activity towards the end of the quarter, partially due to the Shibby Pods Challenge series, and then that kind of inspired a little bit of inspired players to kind of branch out from that. I know that we had some good Glacier Coast activity even during the week that our challenge on Glacier Coast was in play, so that was awesome. So really good stuff. Right now it's April 3rd, so we're like 3 days into the new ranking period, or this is day 3. So one big key thing to note is that, of course, things that you may have accomplished today or yesterday or on April Fool's Day, they won't count for this. All right, they will count for the next one and beyond. So, of course, keep that in mind. And yeah, Fish, your Twilight City reverse record came 2 days too late, but it was still sick. It was still awesome. I'll start out actually by showing the inactive list. You might notice a little bit of a change on here as well. Inactive, we're for this period putting Admiral Smith, Analogism, and Bert. We did have the option, of course, of putting Lockwood in there, but it's been so long since he's played and PB'd and submitted, and then I think we'd really like to see him back, obviously. So Bert has moved to inactive. It's been since, I think it was July, since we saw a submission from him, and he doesn't have a full timesheet to protect him from going inactive. And I'm only putting 3 players inactive at a time, so right now we're gonna sit with Admiral Smith, who, I'll be honest, is kind of like on thin ice as far as even being on the inactive portion of the list, because we need to see more submissions from these guys to become active again. They're all very skilled, and Bert had some really impressive stuff last year, definitely. So those are our 3 inactives for this time around. We'll go ahead now and move into the active players. I'm gonna, and of course this is another situation where I only have 4 slots here, but I really felt like, especially towards the end of the ranking period, there was like 6 players that could have made these 4 spots. The 4 that did make it are going to be Baba Kanoosh, Bunta, Gilly Guide, and M2K. I'm sorry, MDK. I kind of play Smash Bros. Melee too. So MDK. There were 2 other players who were really close. I will mention them, even though I didn't put them on the list this time. The 2 that were close, but maybe not active enough during the biggest parts of the season anyway, would have been like Mr. Pitchy and Zuby Doo 77. Both skilled players, and either of them could have made this list with like maybe a few more submissions during the quarter. So shout outs. I know that Baba Kanoosh and Baba Kanoosh is kind of playing a lot of his same courses right now. He came back in February and PB'd with a 103.7 on Sunny Beach, so that's a good sign. And of course I think we'd all like to see him branch out onto other courses. He does have like 4 forward submissions. So with players like Zuby-Doo coming up, and MDK also challenging for like tier 1 in the near future, I assume, Baba's got to put up numbers if he wants to keep his spot, because there's going to be too many players for him to hang on to a spot. And he's been in and out of the Tier 2. I think he was even Tier 1 at one point. Bunta's got a full timesheet. He's safe from being considered inactive. And a lot of players are still not passing... on their come-up, they're not passing Bunta yet. So I think like Bunta would be a good player to aim for if you're like a new player. Look for him on the leaderboards and try to take him down. Challenge to you too, Bunta, to pick up the sticks again. Gilly Guide, same thing. A lot of times he's been rather inactive lately, but his timesheet's full. So we've got to see players beat him in order for him to go down on the list. So that's our Tier 2. Congrats to you four, and hope to inspire the other 2 and even more players that are on the come-up that didn't make that list that time. We'll go on to the Tier 1, which will be in alphabetical order. Andy Panther, Koiro Hoshi, Quick Person, and Stone Cold Hard. Andy Panther, of course, with a full timesheet and recent personal bests on Glacier Coast. He's getting a lot closer now to 116, and that's a big jump from where he was on the course like just a few months ago. I think he saved like a whole second and a half or something on Glacier Coast just in that ranking period alone. Koiro hasn't been active, but he's got a solid full timesheet. A lot of good benchmarks in there too. Quick, not a full timesheet, but he does have the he does have a few really good benchmark times. We did encourage him to play a little bit more on like reverse and stuff like that last year. Now he hasn't played since October, so if he doesn't PB in this ranking period, he will be considered inactive. And I know it sucks to have to PB to be considered active, but the easy way to do that is just fill out your timesheet. Just get a bunch of times that are blank right now, and that'll fill it out. And then Stone Cold, a solid player all around. He's been in and out of the community and in and out of the tiers as well. A good asset to the community. And he's somebody who has climbed the ranks pretty gradually as well. So if you're like a new player looking for some inspiration, look at Stone Cold's timesheet for sure. So that brings us into our top 10 list. So we'll switch it up to the Dolphin Park music for our number 10 with a full timesheet. You're going to find the full timesheet being really common in the top 10 now. The Androgene, who, of course, we haven't seen a submission from him since the recordings rules changed. I hope that changes. Because he's really good. 103.5 on 0.597 on Sunny Beach. 105.4 on Sunset Bay, 111.7 on Drake Lake. You know, he's got really good times, and everything is filled in, so he's not missing anything. I guess we'd like to see, of course, like recordings from him, and then like legitimate capture card recordings, and then of course he could also submit times in RTA and stuff like that. So that would be nice. I'd really like to get Andro back into the game. I feel like we kind of discouraged him with the rules change, but I think it's really important at the same time. And that also sets the tone for the rest of the community. Like, we have new guys who are submitting non-capture card footage right now, and they're really only encouraged to do that if we have top players doing the same thing. And the quality is not always going to look as good as Andro's recordings, you know? He spends a lot of time making sure that his recording Although it's not a capture card, looks as good as he can make it look. But I'm definitely hoping to see some activity from Andro. Moving into number 9 for the season. Still with a full timesheet. We're giving this back to Modal. No change in the last 2. I'm bringing up Modal's runs right now. Definitely a lot of games that he plays too, not just Wave Race. But looking like Sunny Beach 103.7, Sunset Bay 105.6, Drake Lake 111.7, Marine Fortress 110.2, Port Blue 119.1. I mean, these are pretty good. Twilight City 124.8. He was like the 4th player that got a 124 too, and I think he will be credited right now with being the 3rd person to get it, actually. Maybe even. Glacier Coast 116.7. Southern Island 114.8. I do like to highlight the forward times. The reverse times are all really important too, and he averages just about as good of a place on reverse as he does on forward. So all around, a really good player. Yeah, Modal is an amazing speedrunner. Moving up to number 8, somebody who has actually been kind of blowing up on the scene. Did start streaming a little bit. I think he slowed down a little bit this year, or at the end of last year, because he was moving and stuff. We're going with Pancakes as number 8. My oh my Pancakes. He runs a stream of his own too. Plays Wave Race on it. Definitely give him a follow on Twitch if you don't already. Pancakes was one of the newer players like last year, maybe the year before even, and has been, you know, just gradually rising up and bringing up his timesheet right now. You know, one thing that we haven't seen from him is RTA. We'd like to see him do some full game runs and some championship runs. It's really close to things like the Sunny Beach 103. He's got like 104.0 on Sunny Beach. He's got a good Sunny Beach reverse too with a 106.3. But he's got the others. He's got a lot of benchmarks like Sunset Bay 105.7, Drake Lake 111, Marine Fortress 108. You know. Oh, and he has Southern Island 114 also. One of the 2018 Big 3. That's right. That's right. You guys all kind of came into the scene at the same time. Also cool to see that Pancakes plays multiple games on speedrun.com as well. So really good. So nice job, Pancakes. Hanging on to the 8th spot. Again, no change from the last ranking period. Number 7 here, somebody who does play all of the championship modes and all of the courses as Money. A personal friend of mine. We used to play Wave Race together in college. We'd have like a little whiteboard on the wall, and we'd have our times on like the Dave's Faves levels. We didn't even, nobody called him those, but he's got a really nice timesheet full of quite a few benchmarks like Sunny Beach 103, Sunset Bay 105, Drake Lake 111. He's got the standard on Glacier Coast from recent, 116.9. And Southern Island 114. And then, of course, quite a few of them on reverse, too. Like Drake Lake 111. He's got Marine Fortress reverse 110. Twilight City reverse is getting better. He's got the 135.666 now. He's got the Devils Twilight City reverse there. And 121.673 on Glacier Coast reverse. So overall, his spread is getting better every ranking period. And he's putting in danger the people ahead of him, for sure. You'll annihilate your Glacier Coast next time? Yeah, I'm sure of it. Especially after all the Glacier Coast practice we've had lately with different conditions, like a different rider or crazy waves, and you have to do it 9 times, you know, that kind of thing. You know, overall, I think this ranking period, this new one that we just started right now, I have a feeling it's going to be really good for Az money. I have a feeling, anyway. There's no pressure there, of course. But yeah, if you play, good things are going to happen, for sure. Alright, and then I'm going to move up to number 6. And we're doing number 6 this time is Metalhead. He does fall from number 5. No fault of his own. He was decently active and did accomplish some good stuff. Just looking here, like towards the end of last year, he got 926 on normal and a 1308 on expert, and those were like his last championship submissions. But those are even right now 4th and 5th place. Still a top contender for a championship beast player. And then Wave Race 64 ILs, man, he's full of benchmarks. Like 103 Sunny Beach, 105 Sunset Bay, 111 Drake Lake, 108 Marine Fortress, 118 Port Blue, and like overall just a crazy spread of insane times. And he does have a few top 3s too. His Sunny Beach is a 103.304. It's 2nd place. It beats Ryan Lockwood. His Port Blue is still 3rd place, 118.392. His Twilight City is still 3rd place with 124.498. Overall, like, very balanced timesheet. He's on a little bit of a hiatus right now, so we might not see him play much in this quarter, but he's still going to be considered active. He's still submitted some PBs within this period, so we'll see him on the rankings list again next period, regardless of if he plays or not, and his placing may depend on how well people around him are performing. So I'm kind of looking forward to see that. The full timesheet keeps you from going inactive, like Fish says. So always have that that push to get the full timesheet. You want to be on this list, and you don't really want to be considered an inactive because it takes you off of this list, and it's like a temporary hold where you'll just be shown like, oh, you're good, yeah, but somebody else could be on there too. And the more recent good inactives might end up being favored. And then the legends should last like forever unless you opt to be removed. So, we're moving into our top 5 as of April 2020. So, top 5 is always pretty prestigious, and it's a big deal when somebody new gets into the top 5, and that's what we have here. We have somebody new for their first time breaking into top 5, and that's Braden Hall. Obviously, we'll get it out of the way. He's the Wave Race Blue Storm champion, and he's the Chuck Norris champion, where you have all of the world records, so he's got all of them. That's pretty cool. I did beat you once, though, on one, twice. But you beat me right back so fast I couldn't even go to sleep and wake up without it being beaten. That's how persistent he is at those records. But let's look at his most notable benchmarks. I mean, I'll just throw out some of the forward and reverse ones that I see looking at his timesheet, like Sunny Beach 103.7, Sunny Beach Reverse 106.1. Oh, it's not a benchmark anymore. My bad, but it's so close to it anyway. Sunset Bay 105, Sunset Bay Reverse 108, Drake Lake 111, Drake Lake Reverse 111.8, Marine Fortress, that's pretty close, 109.4, And got the Marine Fortress Reverse 110.5. I mean, I can keep going, but Twilight City 124. Glacier Coast 116. He's getting there. Southern Island 114. He doesn't, I think, peak quite as high as on some of these as maybe Metalhead does. So this was a difficult decision to make. But then I looked at RTA. Holy shit bricks. Third place on Championship Normal with a 120 or 925. Yeah, a 125. That would be insane. Third place in Hard with 1116. Third in Expert with 1304. That beats Ilu, by the way. Third in Reverse with 1314. And then second, a big second place in all championships. So, I mean, as recent as March, last month, he was PBing in RTA. So, I mean, just the weight of everything overall, I did end up putting him over Metalhead in this ranking period. But it's so close that you're probably going to have to keep playing Brayden to remain at number 5. Although there is one way to barely play at all and to overtake number 4. And that is because number 4 right now is Momo, who is also, you know, relatively inactive and keeps it like a little bit, he keeps his submissions few and far between, we'll say. He doesn't have any RTA times, but of course he has some insane times, like the second place on Marine Fortress, second place on Drake Lake. He was the one that pushed Ilu to get the 110. Who knows if we would have still even seen it by now, you know? But really good times, too, like Sunny Beach 103.4, Sunset Bay 105.3, Port Blue 118.420. So, I mean, he's still got such a solid time sheet, averaging like 4th place on Forward. And the only 3 times that he's missing on the timesheet are Glacier Coast Reverse, Drake Lake Reverse, and Sunny Beach Reverse. And it seems like he would be insanely good at all 3 of those, just based on his times on Forward in general. But things that we're missing from Mo, other than his top tier records that he has, are those 3 things and all 5 RTA categories. So, I mean, if we see those, that might be a different thing. Number 3 is going to Game again. Game, another personal friend of mine. Always pushing me a little bit further as well. Another well-rounded, full, solid timesheet. Well, nearly full. And we know that he doesn't really focus that much on RTA, but I mean, if we look at his level runs, quite a few medals. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of his 24 submissions are top 3. And he even has a world record right now on Drake Lake Reverse. Overall, insane timesheet full of, I think it's every benchmark, Forward, Reverse, and 1 lap. So he definitely like cheers everybody on. He's actually a really good source for Wave Race 64 Shindu cartridges. So if you need a Shindu cartridge, he's a good guy to talk to because he tends to buy some of them online and make sure that it's us, the Wave Race community, that can actually get them so that the prices stay pretty manageable. And he's good on the price. Like, I think I bought one off of him for like $7 once. Pretty good. So yeah, I mean, every single benchmark, he doesn't mess around. He's always got something up his sleeve. And of course, a lot of these players are saving a time or two, or maybe even 3, for a special video that we will have upcoming. I know how long it's taken. I've got some things for that for another video. Anyway, moving on. We will keep the music the same. I just don't have the effort to keep changing the music. So, number 2, we're going to Dr. Fish again. And it's not that I'm super scared of Dr. Fish, I should mention. As far as, like, I think his potential is even higher than what we've seen. But I mean, he's got every benchmark as well, just like Game does. He's got a tied reverse championship on RTA, and then he's averaging second overall in RTA. So 922 on normal, 5142 on all championships. It looks like the only person that beat that was Braden. And second on everything else, other than that tied first place on reverse championships. So Dr. Fish, of course, last term we also made Dr. Fish the new super moderator in my place, and I took his regular moderator role. So we're hoping to see a lot of Dr. Fish in the future. I think that we will. Just to mention a couple of his notable levels. Oh yeah, and also he speedruns plenty of other games too. It's always fun to try to find his wave race runs when I'm looking at speedrun.com, and I have to sift through a bunch of other games too. He's a great DKR player. He is looks like a really great Mickey's Speedway USA for Game Boy Color player. Mickey Speedway USA on N64, got a couple of times there. Wave Race Blue Storm, he's a top 5 player in Blue Storm for sure. But here on Wave Race 64, oh yeah, and I almost forgot Battle for Bikini Bottom. Can't forget that. That's important. And Wave Race 64, I mean, probably averaging about 2-point-something place on ILs. Like, just an overall insane spread. World records on Sunset Bay, 105.006. And Twilight City Reverse, which was at the time a 134.597. But he did improve it down to a 430 yesterday, which of course it wouldn't count for this ranking period, but 571 was what he had at the end of the ranking period. So I mean, he's a force, and it's really only a matter of time until he does take the number 1 spot, which I'm giving to myself right now. I always say this, but it's probably not going to be long now. I might only have like a ranking period or 2 left where I can fend off Dr. Fish. I mean, I told him, we had a discussion, and I told him that I was going to make him work for it. I'm going to try my best to defend the number 1 spot and my world records. So we'll see. I might not be in my top form right now, but I can still improve on some of my levels. And actually, when I watch you play, it shows me things that I might be able to do on my run too that I didn't really know about. So I think this will be a good contest over the next year, especially over the next year, to see if I can hang on and to see if you can overtake. So that's where we're at right now. Thank you guys for watching the rankings for April 2020. The next one will be, well, it'll be early in July. The ranking period goes from April 1st until, it would be June 30th. And that'll be the deadline for submissions to speedrun.com if you want them considered for the next ranking period. If you don't like where you ended up ranked, or if you don't see yourself on here, I always say the best way to make me change this list is to next time leave no doubt. Leave no doubts on where you think you should be ranked. Destroy all competition if you really want me to think that you're destroying the competition. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next stream or video, and keep playing Wave Race. We do have a little bit of time left on the bonus week of Shibby Pod's challenge series. So, looking forward to seeing you guys around there and in the Discord, and have a good rest of your week.